Well, good morning or good afternoon if you're in the USA, and if you are in the UK, like my friend Rohini here, it's already early evening. So I am Bruce, aka the guy in the blue shirt, as I'm known here on LinkedIn. And my method is simpler, faster, better. And I actually help organizations, people, teams do process cleanups. And we were just chit-chatting about that a little bit with my wonderful guest Rohini, who's in Birmingham, right? Birmingham, UK.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, or Brummie as they call it, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people wouldn't understand our slang maybe. So if we use short words or slang words, you don't understand what we're saying. And if you're in the watching live, then please let us know you're watching, and feel free to make comment, ask questions, challenge us on our thoughts, whatever people want to do, right, Rohini?
That's it.
All right. So thank you for being a guest. And it's amazing how we are more alike than we are disalike. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit about what you do, particularly how you help your clients with the use of videos, and, why we're going to get into why people might do that or might not want to do that, right?
Yeah. So first of all, Bruce, thanks so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. As Bruce mentioned, I run Live Wire Media. We do video marketing and video production for companies all over the world, literally. So
Mm-hmm.
me and my incredible team, we help businesses get from where they are now in their business to where they want to be by using videos as a part of their marketing strategy. And as part of that, we coach people on how to actually do it themselves, or we
Mm-hmm.
can do it for them. And we teach people about video confidence, how to get really confident on camera so you can present with confidence and
Mm-hmm.
actually get really positive results.
Right. Hey, I love that idea about getting from where you are now to where you want to be. And I find that's common for me as well. Most people know their processes aren't exactly the way they would ideally want them to be. And it's funny, they often don't know where to start to get to where they want to be because they don't actually understand where they are. So it's like, I was liking it to planning a trip, right? If I was down in Bristol and I wanted to come see you in Birmingham, then
Mm.
that's one plan to trip. Whereas if I'm way over in King's Lynn, where I used to live in Norfolk, getting to Birmingham is a whole different plan, right? So yeah, so very cool. What do you so you mentioned about, the confidence aspect. So what do you see are some of the things that people don't feel confident about, Rohini, in their ability to do video?
I think there's a few things.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that keeps coming up for a lot of people is that they know they need to do videos, but they don't know where to begin with doing them,
Mm-hmm.
or they feel very vulnerable and self-conscious being on camera, or they're afraid of what's going to happen as a consequence of them putting videos out there. It's a multitude of reasons, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever the reason is that there's always a way to kind of overcome it. And that's what we help our clients do.
Mm-hmm. So have you so maybe, of course, you probably don't want to mention names, but what are some of the kind of incredible results or the way that you've helped people build confidence? Maybe tell some stories, some little success stories. How about that? That might be a good.
Yeah, I'll share my own story with you. So
Okay, sure.
about 3 years ago. So we were very open and transparent about how to do what we do. We create videos on how to do video marketing just like we do it. And
Mm-hmm.
then 3 years ago, my coach said to me, "You need to be the one speaking on camera." And I was a bit hesitant at first because one, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I want to get things right the first time. And I get it, a lot of businesses are the exact same way. And two, I was thinking, do I really want to be the face of my own brand? And
Mm-hmm.
there's two things within that. One, it was a case of putting myself out there. And it was two, wanting to be the face of your own brand. Personal branding is ridiculously powerful when it comes to selling your business product or your business tools. It's a
Mm-hmm.
whole other, that could be a whole other podcast in itself.
Right.
So when I started doing videos and speaking to camera, I realized very quickly that I was a complete load of crap. Like it
Not
took
so
me
good.
2 hours. It
Go
took
ahead.
me 2 hours to do my first pre-recorded video because I stumbled my way through the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Had to do a lot of chopping, a lot of editing. So I started looking into like why that was and how to come over it. And I think part of it comes from doing a bit of soul searching, really getting to the depths of what is really holding you back. And you
Mm-hmm.
never know, some other truths might come up in doing that as well. And what was holding me back was the thing of wanting to be a perfectionist and getting it right kind of the first time. So I came up with a few tips for myself to
Right.
get me more be confident on camera and speaking more fluently, and that then used to help my clients. And I've literally seen instant results. So the tips are: number one, practice speaking to yourself off camera,
Mm-hmm.
because you get used to hearing yourself then as well. The reason that we don't like how we look and sound on camera is because we think we're different. Let me explain the science behind that. So when we hear ourselves talk out loud, we're hearing ourselves from our jawline because that's the closest thing to our ear, right?
Uh-huh.
But when it's vocalized, the airwaves quite literally transform how it sounds. So when we hear ourselves on camera for the first time, we realize that's how we sound to other people. But because we are not used to it, it shocks us a little bit.
It
And
does.
then from a visual perspective, we like nobody's face is symmetrical, but yet biologically that's what we are attracted to. The more symmetrical a face, the more we are biologically attracted to it.
Mm-hmm.
Over the years, we've got used to seeing our own face from our perspective. But when we see it on camera, especially for the first time, you see the imperfections, you see how things might be a bit one-sided or a bit bigger than the other, whatever. And then again, you think that's how people see me. But it's only because you're not used to seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is, nobody actually looks at, like, nobody cares about how you look. They care about the value that you're delivering to them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nobody has done business with me based on my hair, or whether or not my makeup has been done that day, or whether my voice is the right pitch, because they know the value that I'm delivering to them. So that'd be my first tip. Just practice getting used to seeing and hearing yourself. Hold up a vanity mirror behind your lens as well, so you don't get distracted by looking at yourself on the screen. Instead, you can look at yourself in the mirror, which is what you're more used to.
Right.
Yeah. And
And
if somebody does come back to you and say, do you know what, I don't like how you looked on that video, or something negative, chances are they're not your type of people. I mean, I had one client or prospect come back to me and say, look, I was going to do some business with you, but your makeup and your hair isn't done on videos, so I'm not going to do business with you. And straight away, I knew that they weren't for me. And I was like, cool, let it go, move on.
yeah, you probably unloaded a whole bunch of time wasting and maybe some emotional conversations that really are not value added, right? You talked about creating value and yeah, I don't know about you, Rohini, but I find the numbers, not that I drive by numbers, but I find the numbers are really interesting. And what I find is that 94% of the people that I ever communicate with, talk with, meet, however I have that type of communication, they're not going to jive with me. And I find
Mm,
that there's only about 6% or less of the people that will jive with me. And I've had fun with that before. I call those my jive hive. And actually this year I'm calling them my biz besties. You know, I only want to spend time with and around and supporting and collaborating with people that are really going to be my business besties, right? The people that have my best interest at heart and get what I do. So again, I think that's a big, I find that's a big wake up call for people. They don't realize that the numbers are pretty small at the end of the day. And what have you found about that? Is that kind of consistent with what you found as well?
what do you mean by numbers exactly?
Well, so if I had 100 conversations, doesn't matter in which format or whatever, then I'm only going to really jive with six of those people. And what I
Yeah,
mean by jive is people that I feel comfortable with. They feel comfortable with me. They're not going to be prejudging me, and I'm not going to be prejudging them. So
yeah,
it's that kind of affinity, that that buddyship, or that, as I call them now for this year, biz besties. They could become my biz besties or not, and it's okay if they don't. But at least I know that we've had a good conversation, and they kind of got what I was talking about, and I got what they were talking about, and it felt good, right? I guess it
yeah.
feels good, right? It felt right. So
Exactly, yeah. And I think one of the great things about doing videos, especially if it's you being on camera, it's great at pre-qualifying people, but it's amazing at disqualifying people.
that is a pearl of wisdom there, young lady. Could you say that again? That is an amazing, thoughtful comment.
Yeah, so video is really great at finding your right people, qualifying them, but it's also really powerful at disqualifying people, like repelling the people that aren't quite right for your business. Because
Right.
they see your content and then they then decide then, without even contacting you, whether or not you're right for them or you're not right for them.
Hmm.
And it's great because it saves you so much time.
I was just about to say, and that's actually where our two worlds come together. I'm a process whiz, and I'm always looking to either help myself or help others save steps, time, and money, right? So
Mm.
by, pre-qualifying misfits, as it were, I don't mean that in a negative way, but people that don't fit with your genre or don't jive with you, then yeah, you've just saved yourself a whole bunch of frustration and maybe wasted time and wasted energy on the wrong people, right? Because
Exactly, yeah.
you're not going to save steps, time, and money with those people. You're going to take longer, more frustrating, and cost you a
Um,
whole bunch.
I think the key within that, in qualifying the right people using videos, is you got to have the right approach and the right strategy. A lot
Hmm.
of people just post out menial content and then they hope for the best. They hope that the leads come to them when their content in reality is subpar. There is certain psychology tips, hacks that need to be implemented in order to make the videos actually convert without you having to be as really hands-on in the process. So I'll
Right.
give you an example. So we generate on average 3 highly qualified leads per week.
Hmm.
That means that at some point in the line in our communication, whether it be immediately or a few months down the line, they're going to become a client
Hmm.
because they've done that pre-qualification process. They know that we are the people that they want to work with. It's just a case of finding out the right budget and also the right time for them to get on board.
Right.
Very rarely do we speak to people and they don't join.
Hmm. So what do you think? What's your secret sauce for that? People ask me about, my ability to go to processes, and I'm pretty capable of finding the places where the process is honked up pretty quickly or messed up. So
Yeah,
what's your kind of secret sauce for going to the right spot, as it were?
use short form videos. Make it quick, make it snappy, make it straight to the point. Short form
Hmm.
videos, from an algorithm perspective, they are absolutely crushing it right now. And also from an attention point of view, people have really short attention spans.
Yes.
It takes a lot to keep people hooked in for a longer form video. And if you do have longer form videos, use short videos to hook people into the longer form videos. But short videos is the key to really elevating everything about your own brand. And from a Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of the algorithms are saying push short form videos
Right.
because they know it's what the users want. Now, within your short form videos, use a hook, get straight to the point of whatever it is that you want to talk about. I always say to clients, focus on really what is the pain point of your target demographic and
Hmm.
what is the root cause of that. because when somebody comes to you with a problem, that's a surface level problem. What's the
Mm-hmm.
cause of the problem? That's what you want to create content around. Don't give the solution away within the main video as well, because you want people to come to you for that. And also,
Right.
that's not really the reason why people tune into videos in general. They're not, people do want solutions, but they just want to know that you're there for them at the end of the day. They want to know that actually this person really understands me.
Mm-hmm. Or they're the right fit. And I want to say hi to Odessa. Odessa's down in North London area. So yeah, and she's been a fan or a supporter of my lives all the way from the beginning. So I appreciate that. And she's a busy lady. So if you're ever in the London area, Odessa's a good lady to try and meet up with. And actually, little sidebar, I've not heard the word snappy for a long time. And my mom always used to have this crazy little joke. And when I used to say to her, "Hey, mom, what do you want? What do you want for a snack?" She'd say, "Oh, make it alligator on toast and make it snappy." So that was all my mom's. And I hadn't heard that word since. So, oh, South London. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got my geography messed up. So Odessa's in South London. Yeah, I was there last year in the Compton area, so that was kind of fun. Hadn't been there for a while, and they'd done a really good job of re-gentrifying some of the neighborhoods there. Clapham, I mean, Clapham Junction. So that was pretty cool. I loved it. Loved to walk around down there. So very good. Yeah, so you raised some great points as well, and earlier you talked about confidence. So what are the top couple of things other than practicing learning to talk to yourself? And I don't know about you, Rohini, but Brian Shulman, who got me first tuned into the power of video that eventually led to me becoming a LinkedIn live stream host, was he used to say to me, "Bruce, take your smartphone everywhere and just talk to it and take hundreds of pictures," right? And we talked offline about me taking pictures on a 2-day little walkabout in the Los Angeles area earlier this week. So yeah, Brian was the one that said to me, "Hey, just talk to yourself, get used to hearing yourself first, and then, reverse the camera and talk to yourself as you're out walking." So I don't know about you, but that was a huge confidence builder for me. And I used to use my walking time so it wasn't extra time, right? So I was doing two things at once. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
it definitely saves time doing that method. On that method as well of just kind of doing rough and raw videos like that, they are super powerful.
They are.
And people often ask me, what's the difference between doing that type of video and having a professionally made video? And it's all about the end outcome and the structure as well. Even the inauthentic, shaky camera type videos can actually get you clients, because within those videos and within even the polished videos, you have to have the right structure that appeals to our psychology. Both of those types of videos, they appeal to our psychology in a slightly different way. And when you tap into that, that's when you'll start generating videos that actually generate you results.
Right.
So bear that in mind when you do start doing videos when you're out and about. Look at the structure that you're doing and think, is this something that I would really want to watch, and really going deep with it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I often do videos when I'm out and about as well, because it saves so much time. You're already doing something anyway, so you may as well just crack out your camera and do it. Talk to camera, tell people exactly what it is that you're doing. Behind the scenes type videos, super powerful, because people want to have exclusive insights that they may not have seen before. So I do a lot of the filming within our team. When I go on sites, to construction sites, I'm always filming everything that I'm doing, because people wouldn't normally have access to that kind of stuff. I mean, how often do you get to see a mansion being built?
Absolutely.
And it's stuff like that that creates curiosity. Videos that create curiosity, really, really powerful.
Yeah. And we'll come back and answer Odessa's question in a minute, but I just want to build off of that. I do a lot of behind the scenes videos at IndyCar races. number one, it's my passion. It's what lights me up. It's what reminds me of what lights me up. It's what keeps me going in some of those darker moments that we all have, right? We're all human. We all have those. But more importantly, I find that really telling the behind the scenes story allows people to be in your shoes and they get to know you at a deeper level. So for me,
and that comes back to the personal branding part of
right.
it. I mean, you've got your business brand, but then people want to know you, the person behind the business as well.
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm lucky. My brand tag was given to me by Gracie Ruth Melendez. I didn't even have to think about it, right? She came up with the guy in the blue shirt because she used to keep saying at LinkedIn local in-person meetings, "Oh, go ask that guy in the blue shirt." And then I sponsored an event for her for the buffet, and she said, "Oh, and the buffet was sponsored by," and she couldn't remember my name usually, "the guy in the blue shirt." So
Love it.
yeah, I know mine happened by accident, but it's again, it's a perfect remedy to all of those components coming together, right? I was confident, she was confident, she got to know me, I got to know them. The event was successful. You know, it was all of those components all came together, and that's why I stuck with it. I put it on my profile, and 2 years later, it's got a life
It's
of
good
its own.
to have an ident like that. And this is what I was going to talk about as well, like planning your content, actually writing down what you're going to talk about and
Right.
how you're going to say it as well. When I first started doing videos, I'd literally write down like a bullet point of what I wanted to cover. Then I would stick that underneath my lens. So if I did happen to lose my trail of thought when I'm
Right.
talking, I can refer back to that. And then having an ident in every single video is really, really powerful because it helps people to remember you. You'll see this a lot on like TikTok videos. The
Yeah.
creators will start off with saying a very key phrase that's unique to them. Something like one of the ladies that I follow, she starts all of her videos with "everybody's so creative," and that's what she's known for,
Right.
because that helps people to remember her from a visual perspective. You're known as the blue shirt guy. I'm known as the video person.
Right. The video lady or video chick, maybe. I don't know. So,
Exactly, yeah.
yeah. And you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter as long as you're remembered, right? The power of a personal brand is to be remembered, top of mind, and for people to know what you relate to and what value you can bring to them. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't care. They can call me whatever they like as long as they remember I'm the process whiz and I can save them massive amounts of steps, time, and money. So all right. So that's had a great question, which is how much video expected in a week? So that's a great question, Odessa. So you want to answer that one?
I would say it depends on the platform that you're focusing on.
Right.
So always post where your clients are going to be hanging out. People have often said to me, why don't you focus on YouTube? Why don't you have a massive YouTube channel? To which I always respond, my clients don't hang out on YouTube, which is
Right.
kind of funny because we're a video agency and yet we don't grow our own YouTube channel. And it's purely because our clients don't hang out on that platform.
Right.
So do your research to figure out where your clients hang out. A lot of people make the mistake of posting on platforms that they feel confident on, or posting on new platforms just because it's new and everyone's going to it.
Yeah.
A lot of that happened when TikTok came out, and then people were like, why am I getting results? Anyway, look at where your audience is hanging out and then create content that's kind of geared towards that platform. So for example, like TikTok, you can be a bit more fun. Instagram, again, a bit more fun as well. Facebook, a bit more fun. You can do that on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is a bit more of a serious type platform. So unless you've got that, unless you want to kind of show that side of you, it depends on how you want to angle it. So that's kind of the context to the answer of my question. On TikTok, post as much as you possibly can. It is an absolute beast. I did an experiment with this when I first started posting on TikTok. One video a day, was getting decent traction, about 300, 500 views,
Right.
and followers as well. Then when I started posting 5 videos a day on that platform, that's when everything started to really skyrocket, and I was starting to get thousands of views.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because on TikTok is such a fast timeline.
Right.
So you need to be posting multiple times a day in order to start getting traction. There are certain ways that you can kind of get around the algorithm, if you like, but
Mm-hmm.
it's constantly changing. So rather than trying to fight the algorithms,
Right.
work with it instead. It's the same with Twitter as well. Fast changing newsfeed, lots
Mm-hmm.
of content.
Yeah. Yeah.
On
I
other
like.
platforms,
Yeah. I think from a process point of view, I think about Twitter and TikTok as and I only TikTok just for fun, but is nanoseconds versus seconds and minutes on. So you probably have, seconds to good minutes on
yeah,
LinkedIn, and also like yourself, I don't use YouTube as a marketing strategy, but what I use it for is a memory vault. So, I use YouTube very purposely to help people that might be considering being a guest of mine instead of me spending a lot of time. I don't want to convince anyone to be a guest, but I want to give them a resource. So I have them go to my live section of my YouTube channel and say, hey, pick somebody that, either you like the title of what we talked about, or you can relate to them individually, visually,
yeah,
pick a couple of people, watch a few minutes of the live, and then decide, is it for you or is it not for you?
yeah,
Right. So, yeah,
absolutely, yeah. On the other platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, it's a little bit different. When you
right.
post multiple pieces of content on there, if you have to, you want to space it out. And I
Yeah.
say if you have to because what happens is, unlike Instagram, unlike TikTok,
Hmm.
what LinkedIn and Facebook will do, and Instagram, if you post it within a short time
Right.
period, it refreshes your content. So it will downgrade the reach of the post or the older
Right.
post
Hmm.
in order to focus on the new one because it wants to keep your content fresh. So
Um,
bear that in mind. So I'd say minimum post 1 video a day.
right. Great answer. So I hope that helped you, Odessa. And again, it really depends on, the purpose. If it's, and again, like in my case, particularly when I was back in the UK last May, I actually did some self video blogging to actually build content for a series that I'm actually going to be doing this year called Rough Around the Edges. And the rough around the edges is actually my personal legacy, not my technical legacy. So, like, many people in process or technical fields, usually their technical process background is really well documented. Leave
Hmm.
legacy either with books or journals or both in my case. But my personal story, there's nothing really. So this year it's going to be good, bad, or indifferent. I'm going to be leaving my personal legacy in a series called Rough Around the Edges. And I started with the idea last May when I went back to do, what Australians call walkabouts, right? I went back to my roots, went back all the way to beginning, and I remembered some amazing things, both good, bad, and indifferent. Again, that my brain had blocked out. I blocked out a lot of pretty traumatic memories from my early childhood. So it was great to bring that back, and not that I want to
Hmm.
focus on trauma, but just to bring that emotion back to capture those stories and make relevance to the pictures that I was taking. So that's the other thing, making relevance to what you visually put up either as your thumbnail or your lead picture or lead video. It doesn't really matter. It's got to be relevant. Or for
Yeah.
me, it has to be relevant. So, anyway. Well, good. So, what have you got coming up, and how do people get a hold of you if they'd like to tap into all of your powerful team and your resource that you have?
So we've got some amazing projects coming up, and if you follow us on social media, you'll see all about that.
Hmm.
Again, we're not one of those agencies that keep all their secrets to themselves. very open and transparent about how to use videos to get results. So do connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. That's where you'll see a ton of content as well. On Facebook, I've got a group. So if you add me on Facebook, it's the same name below. I can add you into that private members group. Within that private members group, you'll see step-by-step videos on how to get confident on camera, how to start shooting videos yourself, how to use the videos once you start shooting them, and any other major updates that you may need to be aware of in order to use videos to massively grow your brand. And I'm talking like social media algorithm updates, email updates, that kind of thing.
Awesome. All right. So that's under Livewire Media predominantly.
If you add me, my personal name on Facebook, that's Rohini Makwana, then you'll find me on there.
Okay, awesome. And then on LinkedIn, I know it's under your name, and you do a great job of putting yourself out there. So awesome. Okie dokie. Any last thoughts? And because I'm actually going to show an example of short form video that was curated by an amazing, not me, I provided the information, and 𝒍𝒊𝒗𝒆 curated what I call a brand story, or a top level brand story. So I'm going to show that as an example at the end here. So any final thoughts or any final stories?
Today, what we've covered in today's show is really just scratching the surface. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, I'm doing videos, but they're not getting results, or I want to do videos, but I don't know where to begin, reach out to me. More than happy to have a no obligation conversation to get you on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're on British Standard Time most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Which for the US is, I'm on Mountain Standard Time, so it's Rohini's +7 hours. But in the spring, they spring forward 1 hour. We don't in Arizona. We're one of those interesting states where our time zone never changes. So, so we confuse people. Sometimes we're on the same time as them, and sometimes we're completely different. But anyway. Okie dokie. All right. Thanks, Odessa, for all your comments. And if you were listening live and you didn't comment, don't be shy. You know, it's okay. You can put your comments in. If you watch this as replay, you can still add comments or add questions. And I know each of us or both of us would be delighted to answer those things. So here we go. My little brand story curated by 𝒍𝒊𝒗𝒆. Don't go away.
You're frustrated that you have no time and you just hate it. You lost your mind. You're running around the kids and the spouse, and the business that was once your passion has got you burnt out. So, consult with Bruce, the guy in the blue shirt. He'll help you find the truth so that you can do you first. See, it's all about simpler, faster, better, so you can save massive amounts of time and money instead of longing for the day where you can finally kick your feet up. Do yourself a favor. Call up Bruce. He'll tell you about process cleanup.
There we go. So do you know Devin?
I don't know Devin.
Okay.
I like the name.
Yeah, he's just posted some even more creative stuff himself. He's based in Portland, Oregon, and I got to meet him last September as on one of my tours, so it was great. So we hung out for almost 3 to 4 hours on the South Columbia River on a floating summer bar called The Deck, and it was literally floating on the river. So we got to eat lunch and have a few beverages and a lot of conversations. And following that, Devin, I provided information. Devin put that brand story together, so it's kind of cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah, yes. So I'm, happy to introduce you if you want to meet him, because he's got super creative mind for sure.
Cool. Yeah, always open to have a chat.
All right. Okay. I will direct message you both after the show. How about that?
Lovely.
All right. Thanks, Rohini. Thank you for working into the early evening there to do this. Much appreciated. And
No problem. Thank you for your time.
yeah. All right. Take care. All right. Bye for now.
Yes. Bye.